Welcome to My.Na Cars. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Johan Kutsia, and this is our last episode for the year. It's been quite a ride, having to mask up, sanitize, while test driving all these beautiful cars. So we want to thank you for coming on this journey. It's been quite fun, and looking forward to picking up next year, and going full throttle and putting us into a higher gear. So, just to quickly recap this past weekend's festivities, there was a really massive event, the Troublemaker event at the Tony Russ racetrack. That was hosted by the Windhoek Motor Club. It was really epic. I mean, they had a mixture of disciplines there for spectators to enjoy, including gymkhana, drag races, and drifting. But what was really cool was that they were open for privateers. So you could come to track with your daily drive and take part in the gymkhana, show off your skills and also your pride and joy. Super cool. The chairperson of the Windhoek Motor Club, Mr. Richard Slamet, sent us this short clip that you're seeing on your screen right now, just to kind of give us a feel for the action on the day, and I must say it looked amazing. Otherwise, there was also a really cool stance-off in Rehoboth this past weekend, where organizer Gavin Titus said that car lovers from across the region came through and just enjoyed the day, enjoyed their vehicles, and did some community activations, tried to raise some funds, and just turned their attention to some of the needs in their community. Super cool. Boom! Getting straight into the show. So the first BMW iX xDrive 40 arrived in the country last week, and I mean, it is a stunning vehicle. Fully electric, futuristic design, and just, you can't miss it. We're going to be heading over to Pupukis BMW shortly, where the dealer principal Armand will be walking us through this exciting vehicle that we got to look at before it was delivered, and I must say that is one lucky customer. After which, we will be chatting to the Chief for Corporate Affairs at the MVA Fund of Namibia, Mrs. Saruya Gaumas Guchu, and she'll be walking us through the MVA Fund's efforts towards road safety for this festive season. So please, you can't miss it out, and stay tuned. See you after the break.
Well, guys, first and foremost, thank you very much for making the effort and, putting the time out for being here this morning. For me personally, in the life of BMW, the I range and the electric range of vehicles is extremely important. Now, a lot of you might not know this, but BMW has, in the last 12 to 18 months, we've delivered quite a couple of electric vehicles. We started off with the BMW i8, the Roadster, and then, of course, the convertible, and then, of course, after that, a couple of BMW i3s. But BMW has since then launched the new BMW iX40. So the iX40, this one, is actually the baby version of the bigger version. So there's two different models. You get the iX40 and you get the iX50. Now, the biggest difference is obviously size, and then, of course, the range, the capacity that this vehicle can go, how far you can drive with this vehicle. Now, this specific vehicle, its range on pure electric is 370 kilometers to 420. So it all depends on, what your driving style is. The faster you drive, obviously, the lesser of a, distance that you could cover. But literally, guys, the days of actually depositing petrol into your car, it's coming to pass. And I think a lot of people out there does not actually, grasp, how quickly the technology is moving when, looking at this vehicle. Now, if I actually just take the key, one thing I say about the iX40 is the lights are extremely inviting. It says almost come to me, just come to me. So first, very, very bright, and then of course dimming a little bit and giving you that beautiful, view of the vehicle itself. Even though this vehicle is fully electrical, BMW managed to keep it still looking like a car, which is, for me personally, I think is great. Now look at the technology. Obviously the lights, the bluish shine there, it's because it's laser lights. Now to put it in perspective, laser lights, you can just see so much further in the road. That's what the quality of the light is, and it's pure white. Now look, come a little bit closer, guys. I need to show you here, and you can actually feel the grille over here. Now this is a self-healing kidney grille. Now you're asking yourself, what do you mean? Say for instance you're driving and there's a truck or a car in front of you, hitting up a little bit of stones or so. This grille will heal the stone chips by itself. The moment it comes into the sun, it's like a type of gel and it will heal itself. Phenomenal. No. Then over here, if you press over here, this is just your washer fluid for your windscreen wipers right over there. So this is the only space where you, as the driver of this vehicle, actually will get involved in putting anything into this car. Obviously, the car doesn't have a combustion engine, so it's got an electrical motor. So under the hood, only the technician is allowed because it's high voltage. So only the technician is allowed to work under the bonnet here. But if you were to ask me, Armand, so what is underneath the bonnet? You will have a battery here. You will have an electric motor here, and then of course you will also have coolant to cool the electric motor. That's the only thing there is in this vehicle in the front. The rest of this is all electrical, 110%. Then guys, if you look at the car itself, it is seamless. Basically, everything flows. So basically, to make the drag efficiency as low as possible. So it's very aerodynamic, and again, keeping that car feeling to the car. But you will think that an electric car doesn't have space. But if you look here at the rear, and please guys, do walk around and come and have a look here. Just how beautiful that lights illuminate. And then of course here at the back, more than spacious enough boot capacity right over here. And then of course above that, if you just open up there, there's additional space there, right over there. And then here comes the ingenious part. All of the electrical cars comes out, and this is a concern of a lot of Namibians. But if we've got an electric car, what do we do? How do we charge this car? Where do we go? Guys, when you arrive home, what is the first thing normally that you do? You take your cell phone, you plug it in. It's exactly the same thing. You will come into your garage, and there's a 3-point plug that fits into your garage, and the other part will be this part over here. So it will look like this, something like this. So the 3-point plug will be in your wall, and you go over here. Now this is how it looks, your AC adapter and your DC adapter right over there. Just click it open like this, and the light will go green, and as soon as it goes blue, it will show that it's charging. It is as simple as that. Right over there. Then please come around to this side. Then obviously this specific vehicle is obviously keyless. By pressing this over here, the car locks. By just taking your hand right over there, the car opens. And look at this seamless grille and everything, the panel, everything that it's got over here. If you look at the seats, you would say, wow, the seats are super weird. But if you get into the car and if you sit in the car in the seats, it is the most comfortable seating position that you can ever possibly think of. And then also, very spacious. I will give you all guys time to have a look. Just look at that. But there's still a lot of stuff to show you now that is absolutely fantastic. You will see that the roof from the front to the rear is a big sunroof that it's got. And it works with where you literally push the button. If you push the button, then it becomes black. It's blacked out. If you push it again, it's transparent, just by pressing a button. So normally in the beginning, it takes around about 40 hours for the first charge that we do at the dealership. That is once off. And then of course, over and above that, the first charge that we've done after that is 7 hours. So anything between 7 and 12 hours, depending on how you've depleted the battery. But in any case, it's like, when you come home and you put your cell phone in, it's normally 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. The next morning when you wake up at 5 o'clock, it's 11 hours or 12 hours. So when you think of a cell phone, because we all use them, it's pretty much as a cell phone. The thing is, the battery cells and everything is just much bigger. And then, of course, what is very important to mention always, the batteries are always, lower to the ground. So your center of gravity is much lower. You will think electric car, but because the center of gravity is so low, the handling capability of the car is absolutely phenomenal. Was there any other question that you had?
Yes, what kind of voltage or, what capacity in terms of electricity?
In terms of electricity, so basically you're asking me what will you use at your home? Guys, it doesn't actually consume that much of energy. No, it is, yes, it is a little bit more voltage that you will pull out of your car. It is not something that you will, register in your that you've got consumption. Say, for instance, it's going to cost me $700. You probably would like to put a figure to that. I would reckon around about $200 a month, plus minus, give or take. I would guess it's nothing in comparison with what petrol and diesel is costing you. It's nothing. And then, of course, it also depends on what is the setup of your home. So do you have solar panels? Are you, pushing it into the grid? Are you taking from the grid? So it all depends on client to client. That is the most important. Then over and above that, this vehicle is kitted also with a Harman Kardon surround system. Now, this specific vehicle has got 18 speakers in, so the sound of quality is fantastic. But you get also the upgraded version of this. It's called the Bang & Olufsen system. It's got 44 speakers in the car, so the sound is just mind-blowing. Obviously, the buttons for actually adjusting your seats and everything is in pure crystal over here. And then, of course, the whole iDriver and everything all in crystal. The vehicle has also got wireless charging. So when you put your phone down, it charges wirelessly. And if I may ask if I can have maybe the two ladies here at the back and one of the gentlemen in the front, then I'm going to just show you a little bit of stuff, from the inside and the whole panel and how everything works and comes together. Now, I'm a tall guy, so you can just get a bit of an idea of the space that I've got. So as simple as that. So as you can see, it's very, very seamless. It's very, very open. It gives you this clean flowing lines all over the vehicle. By literally just pressing the start button over here, I've just started the vehicle. There it is. You don't hear any sound. If I put it into drive there, and we can literally now move to the front. So it's dead quiet. If I put it in reverse, obviously the rear reverse camera and everything comes on over here. Your park brake is over here. And then, of course, volume control right over here. And then in addition to this, you've got your different modes where you can choose, would you like to have a personal type of selection? Would you like sports mode over there? This is just your climate control and everything right over here. Then, of course, you've got all your settings that you can go through on your main menu. So this is actually quite nice, where you can actually select. Hang on for a second there. Your live vehicle. Now, this is quite interesting. If you go into the live vehicle, it will give you the option of where was since your last charge. So you can adjust it. Do you want the readings to be since your last charge, since your last journey, since the factory, or since individual? So it will give you the average electric consumption. It will give you, how much you've consumed in electricity per 100 kilometers, etc., right over there. Let's just put it on personal again. So right over here. So on this side in the instrument cluster, from where the car is standing now till it's been PDI'd, so it doesn't give a nice average, but it gives you, at this moment in time, the car can drive 195 kilometers. It's very difficult because the car has got only 33 Ks on. This is why it says 195. It says on the average, as it's been driven till now, it will give you 360, but you do have the capacity to go up until 410 kilometers with this specific vehicle. Pure electric on electric only. So yeah, it's got no combustion engine, no nothing. It is just pure electrical. And BMW is going to be launching from now till 2025. They're going to introduce 12 different electric models for BMW. So we are really serious about in regards to the technology and everything in regards to electric. Right over here, the button that I've spoken about, if I press it over here, as you can see, you can almost see nothing now, and it also blocks out the sun completely when pressing that button. And then, of course, by just pressing it again, it becomes completely transparent again and allows a little bit of sun to come through the vehicle and gives you that airy feeling of the car. Ladies, gents, any questions further than that? Are you quite impressed?
I have a question.
Certainly.
So where are the airbags in the front?
All right. So this vehicle comes out standard with 8 airbags, but it's quite probably properly stored away. So you've got front cushion airbags, you've got knee airbags, you've got curtain airbags all across. All BMWs, I mean all BMWs, has got a 5-star Euro NCAP rating. So yeah, so from curtain to dashboard to everything right over, even on the sides over here. So you will also notice there, you will notice there, you will notice in the B pillars and in the C pillars, you will notice. On the batteries, you've got 8 years or 180,000 kilometers warranty on the batteries that comes with the car. So that is quite significant for the batteries on this vehicle. And then, of course, further to this, the vehicle does not get maintained like a normal car where you've got 10,000 or 15 or 20,000 kilometer intervals. Remember, there's no components there that has got any. Not at all, not at all. So the vehicle will come in mainly for 2 or 3 things. If it needs a little bit of oil for you know the electrical engine, it uses a bit of oil. You will come in for tires and you will come in for brakes. That is what you will be coming in for. So this schlep where you need to go regularly to the dealership to get your car serviced, etc., that schlep is not there anymore. So it's very seamless. It is on your daily operation up and down, you know, it makes a huge impact. Yes. This specific model starts around about in the vicinity of 1.7 million. Obviously, then you get a little bit of extras because no BMW is stock standard. You always want to personalize it. And this is why I love the BMW brand so much, is because you buy a vehicle that you personalize according to your needs. So you don't necessarily want your neighbor to drive exactly the same car that you drive. You want 2 or 3 or 4 things that is different, even from the alloys to etc. You want different. And then, of course, when you go to the iX50, we talk about around about 2.2 to 2.3 million. So at the pricing and start tag. But the only difference is the iX50 is much larger, obviously. And then, of course, above the fact that it's a little bit larger, the range is a little bit further than the iX40. But all in all, guys, very spacious and just an absolutely stunning looking vehicle. So to all the listeners out there, I just wanted to say, if you've ever thought of owning an electrical vehicle, and if you are in the market for an electrical vehicle, or if you've ever wondered about an electrical vehicle, guys, pop around. We will actually be in the position where we can tell you a hell of a lot about these cars and where the technology is moving. And if you're not on that bandwagon of getting into where technology is moving, you will be left behind. But other than that, at Pupkewitz BMW, we will most certainly blow your mind away when it comes to electrical vehicles and the technology that BMW is daily working on. And just one of those attributes of working for the best brand in the whole wide world, BMW. Thank you, guys.
So road safety in Namibia has been a constant battle. Over the years, we've lost so many lives, and there's a tremendous burden socially and economically with the loss of potential family members and loved ones. So to tell us a bit more about the context around road safety in Namibia and being one of the biggest stakeholders, we have Madam Siruya Gamos Guchu, the Chief for Corporate Affairs at the MVA Fund of Namibia. And yeah, ma'am, trust you well. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. It's always such a pleasure having you grace us with your presence.
It's great to be in your company, Jochen, and thanks for inviting me too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ma'am, the MVA Fund is undoubtedly one of the biggest stakeholders in road safety in the country and also assisting those who are affected by road vehicle accidents. What is the MVA Fund? What is your ethos and what is your mandate?
Jochen, the MVA Fund's basically mandate is that it is premised on the Act of the MVA Fund Act number 10 of 2007, where we basically geared towards implementing and designing and basically promoting accident and promoting crash and injury prevention measures that will ultimately save lives, as well as promote and assist those, or basically assist those people that are injured, unfortunately injured, or the dependents of those that have been killed tragically in road crashes.
Yes, ma'am.
So based on that, we really are there to lend a helping hand, and our vision is to ensure that we take the client through that journey of recovery, even after the crash, to at least live a meaningful life and to have a life of independence, even without our helping hand at the end of the day. So that is really what we're all about. And all these operations are, of course, premised on our values of passion, integrity, teamwork, and also basically excellence as well. So based on that, that is what we stand for. That is what our role is as the MVA Fund.
Excellent, ma'am. No, and thank you. Your contribution is tremendous. I personally know of a lot of people's lives who have been affected by road accidents, and I mean, just the assistance that the MVA offers them kind of gives a little bit of respite and a helping hand during a very troubling time. So kudos to yourself and the team for all the hard work. Ma'am, as we're approaching the festive season, what is the MVA doing to promote road safety this year?
Okay, as of course, as the festive season is approaching, and also throughout the year for that matter,
Yes.
Road safety is a concern for the MVA Fund, and we want to ensure that everyone is safe on the roads, they adhere to the road regulations, and they reach their destination safely.
Yes.
And based on that, we just want to ensure that, there are a number of activities that we are running as a fund. There are quite a number of them because of the intensity of how important road safety is.
Yes.
And the first one being the Green Dot program. Now, the Green Dot program speaks to public passenger transport. It speaks to not just the passengers, but also the drivers of these public vehicles. Of course, we see them all the time when they are at the bus terminals, people getting ready for their trips and also for their engagements on the roads. But at the same time, we actually have a talk. We go to the bus terminals, we have a talk with these people, and we inform them about what are those safety measures that you have to have in place. One of them is, of course, having a passenger list that needs to be submitted at the bus terminal prior to you departing. So have all the details of your passengers as drivers. Make sure that you inform them about the emergency exit, which is normally at the back of the vehicle, and also the fire extinguishers, how to make use of a fire extinguisher. Ensure that the fire extinguisher is also in proper use so that when you do need it, it is ready to be used.
Absolutely.
So that is really the gist of what we do in terms of the Green Dot campaign. Now, there's another aspect to activities that we run, which is the defensive driving program, or the defensive driving activities. I mean, for you and me, it's easy to say we can drive.
Yeah.
But can we drive defensively? That's the question.
Absolutely.
So based on that, we host these programs for institutions and also for drivers, more specifically for drivers that are interested to learn the tricks of how to drive defensively and how to be cautious on the road, how to be vigilant on the road. And those are really the mannerisms with which we also approach the bus and taxi associations in partnership with other road safety holders. Not to forget also, of course, people at the workplace, those that have fleet vehicles. We give them these defensive driving programs so that they can inform their drivers as to how to be more alert and safe on the roads. Wow. So that is the one aspect of what we do. There's quite a number of them, so I just want to take the leeway of listing them out.
Please.
The other one is the educational and awareness engagements that we normally do for pedestrians and the risks associated with that. Of course, as a pedestrian, you need to also ensure that, or as a driver for that matter, you need to ensure that you don't speed. You're not too tired before you drive. There mustn't be any fatigue. Rest well before your journey. And also don't drive under the influence of alcohol or any substance abuse for that matter, because that can impair your vision and also your driving ability. And of course, ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy.
Yes.
Because unroadworthy vehicles will, of course, let you result, being basically being blocked at the roadblock by traffic officers if your car is not up to standard, or ultimately, a tragic case is the crash that occurs, which ultimately ends up with loss of life or injury that we need to cater for.
Absolutely.
So we really want to vouch for that preventative approach, while at the same time, if all else fails, we're here to also help you. We've got your back as the MVA Fund. That's what we stand for. Maybe the second last aspect is the motor clubs. We have engagements with motor clubs, one of them being Audi, Jeep, BMW, Amarok. Those are the motor clubs that we engage with on a regular basis in terms of just because they've got members they've got young members that are actually that are so keen to drive these fast cars. Who doesn't want a BMW? So one of those fast cars, and then now we drive home that message to their members in terms of road safety, how they can be cautious, how they can also have driver interventions with their members, and we constantly have those programs with them. Another one is, of course, the emergency response capacity along the B1 and B2 routes.
Very important.
One that goes up north, other one that goes down south to the coast. So those are really the key emergency bases that we have. Is one in Arandis, Wilhelmstal, Farm Success, also one at Farm Willemstal in Ochivarongo. And based on that, we have this emergency medical response capacity on the ground that we can assist if any crash happens along the way. Last but not least, Johannan, I want to talk about the first responder simulations. First responder simulations has a very educational spin to it, in the sense that we not only have an actual simulation of how our paramedics assist people on the ground,
yes,
but also educate them about the very important number, 9682, the accident response number that we need to dial so that people can be assisted. We can send our paramedics and our ambulances on the ground to assist them. And if viewers have not really done that now, this is what they need to do. I've saved it on my phone. So if they haven't done it on their phones, just save it there on your phone, so that when you do witness a crash or you are involved in a crash, so one way or the other, if you call this number, we can assist you.
Wow.
On the ground.
Yeah. So please remember to put that number in your speed dial. Ma'am, just the number again, please.
It's 9682.
We're going to put it here at a lower strip, so please make sure you save that number. It's very important. And thank you, ma'am. I mean, those are wonderful practical interventions, and really encompass the whole sphere of people who are participating in travel. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize the potential for pedestrians to be involved in an MVA, and they are road users too. Same with cyclists, same with anybody who's sharing the roads. And I mean, you don't have to be traveling far. You could be in town, and there's a lot of risk associated to it. So it takes really all of our efforts to keep safe. Ma'am, now, for all these people getting on the roads, what is the MVA's message to drivers?
The MVA Fund's message to drivers is basically, before you undertake a journey, always plan for your journey first. You just don't jump into the car and get going. You need to plan and ensure that you've got all the safety mechanisms in place. And once you're on the road, of course, you take those regular breaks that you need, because on a long journey from Windhoek to the north or to Katima from here, it can be quite tiring. So take those regular breaks, and if you have a co-driver, bring him or her along, and then you can switch the driving abilities along the journey. That will also help you to, not be too tired by the time you get there, and also keep within the speed limits. Ensure that your passengers, if you have any passengers, of course, in the vehicle, also that they are wearing their seatbelt correctly. Sometimes people can just maneuver the seatbelt and just put it somewhere without actually clicking it in. So it has to be clicked in, it has to be positioned properly, so that we ensure that it does the job that it's supposed to do.
Yes.
Of course, the natural thing is to adhere to the road traffic signs along the way. Don't drink and drive. It's not really the wisest thing to do. Not at all.
Yeah.
And also, it's all about self-policing yourself. Basically, taking that personal responsibility of road safety, that I am a road safety ambassador. I want to ensure that I arrive alive, that I get there in a good state, and also with my family, and then you can enjoy the moment when you arrive there. So that is really the key elements that I want to alert drivers about. Of course, the road conditions will also determine your speed.
Yeah.
So just adhere to those road traffic regulations and be a good driver along the road.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think a lot of times people are in such a rush and kind of get wrapped up in the festive spirit. But I always believe that it's more stressful speeding. It's more stressful driving with a guilty conscience. So why would you do that to yourself?
Exactly.
Why would you drive having this risk hanging over your head that you might not get home safely with your family? So please, let's all make our contribution and make sure that we self-police ourselves. Ma'am, and now for the pedestrians, what's your message to the pedestrians? Because sometimes we also find that we find pedestrians walking on the shoulder of the road, or
Yes.
people who have
Yes.
structures set up close to the road boundary or whatever. What is your message to pedestrians and maybe also to the passengers?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question, Johan. In actual fact, for pedestrians, like you say, don't walk on the wrong side of the road. Always walk facing oncoming traffic,
Yeah.
so that they can see you. Be seen, and you basically have to be seen. See and be seen.
Yes.
That is really the slogan that we take when it comes to pedestrians. At the same time, we want to also ensure that they cross the road properly. You do this even at school. In your young days, you told look left, look right, and look left again, and then cross the road once the road is clear from any traffic. So that rule applies even in our adult lives.
Yes.
And I think that is really the stance that we're taking to them as pedestrians. Don't jaywalk around the road. Just make sure that you are also safe and alert around for your surroundings, and also for the safety of yourself.
Yeah. So don't drink and walk, please.
Yes.
I know it can happen. A lot of things can happen, but if you're going to be using the roadways or crossing them, please make sure you're alert and that you also contribute to road safety.
Another element is the phones.
Oof.
Don't use your phone and be distracted while you're crossing the road. You might not even see the car that's coming.
Yeah.
So that is also another point that we should take into consideration. I know we like to text. I know we like to make those phone calls, but rather do it with open eyes and with all alertness.
Open ears also. You can't be out here listening to your favorite song, singing along. You're on Facebook, sharing a story, and it's not responsible when you're using the road. And we see cases like this every day, even in towns.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It does happen frequently.
Now, ma'am, also for passengers, the ones utilizing public transport, the ones utilizing private transport, I think they play a big factor in the overall atmosphere of the vehicle and in the safety of the driver. They can also encourage the driver to be more safe, or they can encourage some reckless behavior.
Definitely they do, and they have a key role to play. It's really that thing of ensuring that the vehicles that they use, the buses that they use, these minibuses that they use, have been fitted with the right safety belts.
Yeah.
That they're in proper working order for the passengers that actually climb onto that bus. At the same time, make sure that, like I said, the fire extinguishers, there's always an expiry date on the fire extinguisher, so make sure that it's not expired. It does work properly. And you also alert the passengers about the emergency exit window. We always don't look at the back window. But if all else fails, this is really your exit point, that you can exit the vehicle if the vehicle is burning in any way, or you take the fire extinguisher, and if you can eliminate the fire, by all means, use that.
Yeah.
So for the transport operators, that is really the key message that I want to give them. As for the passengers, of course, we always have this tendency of saying, drive fast, I want to get there. Don't. That is the wrong thing to do.
No.
Not really. We don't really condone that. And also the same thing is that when you have children, don't put them on your lap. I know that as mothers and as women, we like to put them on the lap and make kind is reg. And the child is in order. No. Make sure you have a child's car seat. If not, the child is properly restrained or buckled up in the vehicle in which you're traveling as well.
100%. Now, ma'am, I know you've touched on this, but just once again to reinforce that, What should one do when either you're involved in an accident or you come across an accident? Because, you know, in that moment, yes, you're looking for emergency numbers, so many things are going through your mind. What is the course of action?
Yeah. You know, when a crash happens, I don't want to call it an accident because the MVA Fund refers to all crashes as crashes. And crash can actually be prevented.
Yes.
An accident can't. So hence why we say road traffic crashes. You know, when you come to a crash scene, you should always ensure that there's always a lot of trauma and panic associated with the crash. But you yourself must be very composed. First, ensure that you are safe as an individual. Are you safe in the environment in which you step into when there's a crash? And also, you cannot be not safe because you won't be able to help someone if you're not safe. So check if there are any hazardous leaks, whether it's petrol or whether there's a fire, and also ensure that your vehicle is parked a distance away from the crash. If you've put on your hazards, you've taken out your triangle, you've at least alerted the other oncoming traffic that are coming that there is danger around this area.
100%.
And at the same time, while you're busy with that, in your mind, you need to already ascertain what information do I need to have on the ground so that I can relay this message to the MVA Fund's customer call center, our emergency call center, which basically means that you need to find out how many people have been injured in the crash, what is the location of the crash, where did the crash happen, and also how many vehicles are involved, and also ascertain the type or severity of the injuries if you can.
Yes, ma'am.
So those are the 4 key elements that you need. That's the key information that you need to have when you call that 9682 number, because that is what paramedics will naturally ask you in order to bring the right assistance to the crash scene when it is required.
Absolutely. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you get on the road this festive season, make sure that you have the emergency contact details for the MVA Fund, and just be aware when you get on a scene. Safety is very key, because you find people who, you know, they scramble, they want to assist, but then they end up, you know, causing a bit more of an obstructive or dangerous situation.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
So it's very key. You know, we all want to assist, but let us self-police and make sure that we offer the emergency service the right information so that they can dispatch the right resources. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final remarks for our viewers and all the road users this festive season?
Yes, indeed. Everyone is very eager to travel. I think we had quite a number of lockdowns because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
But just as much as we are also masking up and sanitizing our hands, I would also want to encourage people to always fasten their seatbelts, plan for their journey, and apply that same momentum that you take for COVID with road safety.
100%.
Because in that way, we can save more lives. And if all else fails, and there's a tragic situation of a car crash, 9682, that is really the number I want to encourage everyone. Just put on their phones so that in case there's any crash, they can save a life.
Yeah.
Because one life lost is one life too many. And I just want to ensure that everyone has a safe journey, and also have safe travels, because that is, at the end of the day, we want to see you in the new year, and also in the coming few years, basically, as alive and well. So yes, that is really the stance I want to take with them.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you to yourself, the MVA Fund, and all the frontline workers who will be dedicating themselves to keeping our roads safe this festive season. Your contribution is immeasurable, and we just wish you all the best, and thank you. And to the drivers out there, there's another point I want to drive home. Don't speed. You can't afford it. This petrol price is crazy. Keep it easy. So thanks once again, ma'am. And see you after some safe travels.
All right. Thank you.
Boom, ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show, our final show for the year. As you can see, there was plenty happening in the motoring sphere this year. I mean, you know, BMW coming through with amazing vehicles, and especially now with the iX, X-Drive 40 and the 50. It's very exciting to see, you know, these premium vehicles, premium electric vehicles being democratized, you know. So wherever you are in the country, you can drive your EV. There's incredible support thanks to Pupkewitz BMW. So we take our hats off to them for their efforts. Then we need to sincerely, from the bottom of our fuel tanks, thank Vivo Energy Namibia, the local licensee for Shell Petroleum, for the amazing work they're doing in the communities, for job creation, stimulating the economy, and also for fueling MY.Na cars. We take our hats off to you guys and really thank you for your support, and we look forward to engaging you again next year. And to you, the viewer, please do watch the press. We'll be back next year with a whole new show. I mean, it's going to be revised. We're also coming back weekly. So if you have any news, if you are in the motoring industry, whether you're in sales, insurance, accessories, or maintenance, or you have a social club and you guys just want to share your love for your brand of vehicles, please do reach out to us. We'd be glad to hear from you. That's it for this year. Thank you so much for being on this journey with us. My name is My.Na. Merry Christmas.